welcome to Marvel Champions Podcast, a podcast about Marvel Champions, the card game. I'm your host, Scott, and with me as always, my co-host, Ryan.
How has it been going, my friend? What do you have in store for us today?
Well, Ryan, I've been playing some Nightcrawler some. We, still feeling him out, seeing how best he works and which aspect he's best with.
Ooh.
I think we kind of know his best aspect, but wanted to give him a try in a few others. But we're not quite ready to, I think, review him just quite yet.
You can't rush these things. You gotta try them in different aspects and different cards and different combos and see what is available.
Yeah, and playing him some got me thinking about a potential episode idea, Ryan. Maybe a semi-recurring episode. I think there's enough cards, a big enough card pool, that we start to see some overlap on some cards. So I had a thought.
Right.
So I had a thought of, we've seen some cards that do similar things, or in some cases, the exact same thing almost. And I wanted to do a versus episode with you.
Ooh, interesting.
So my thought is we take two cards and we battle it out. And I was thinking there might be some cases where we agree, maybe some cases we are opposing on which card is better. And I think we just kind of talk it out. Maybe persuade you or you persuade me to maybe come around to a different view of things.
All right, this seems a little interesting. What do you have in store for me this first round?
All right, so round one of versus.
Insert a ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Okay.
Let's get ready to compare cards.
Bonesaw is ready.
Oh, yeah.
So these could be player cards. These could be aspect cards. We haven't really delved into villain cards. I was sticking with mostly heroes at this point. But
that's one thing at a time. I think that's good.
In playing some protection with Nightcrawler, got me thinking about avoiding damage. He does that pretty well. And I've got two cards for you tonight, Ryan.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to give you both, and then we'll talk about each of them. So the first one we have is Backflip, which is a Spider-Man player kit card. And then we have Shield Block, which is a Captain America kit card. So, which one do you want to take? And you can read.
Well, I think
I know which one you like.
I will take Backflip first.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, Backflip is a zero-cost event from the OG Spider-Man set. It is a defense skill card, interrupt defense. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all of that damage.
Simple and sweet. Now
that's right.
For everybody's favorite Captain America. Shield Block is a zero-cost event. Defense traded. Interrupt. Defense. When you would take any amount of damage, exhaust Captain America's shield. Prevent all of that damage.
Interesting.
All right, Ryan. Who you got?
So should I tell you like the one I think is the better version and then talk about it, or?
Yeah, let's just do that. You tell me which one you like more.
I think I'm going to like Backflip more.
Okay. I personally like Shield Block a little more.
Oh, good. Did we plan this?
I'll tell you why.
No, we didn't.
no, we didn't. So, there are some pros and cons to both of these. So, Backflip, why I feel it's slightly inferior. So, why I think Backflip is just slightly inferior is that it does involve an enemy attacking. So when you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all that damage. That is a very good card, zero cost. But with Shield Block, there's some random things that can occur throughout maybe your player phase, or defeating a side scheme, or Taskmaster where you have to flip and take damage. And his is when you would take any amount of damage, you exhaust his shield, prevent all that damage. So it can work in any damage that's being dealt, not just from an attack.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think that is a good assessment. I do think that is a tally in the shield block department. But I would say that backflip, majority of the time you're going to want to cancel all damage. It's going to be from an enemy attack. Taking like a little damage here and there, generally you probably just soak it to save it for something better. But I think it not being tied to an upgrade makes it better, where I can just play it on any attack and I'm done, and I get to prevent it all, where you have to have that Captain America shield and it has to be readied. If it's exhausted, for example, I could play 2 backflips in a single turn, where you can only play 1 shield block. And not only that, but if you so happen to toss your shield at any point, that card is useless until you get that shield back.
Well, Ryan, thanks for pointing out my weakness in this card. Yeah, that is the only downside, is if I don't even have the shield out, it does not work. So
I will say for both of them, I think these 2 cards play very well with their heroes. For Spider-Man, being able to just not have to exhaust and just prevent all that damage, and you're drawing a card because it's an enemy attack from his special ability, is a great combo. And then with Captain America, not having to exhaust, same thing, to prevent all that damage, it allows you to have his potentially ready to go for the player phase, like an attacker, a thwart. Then you can use his ability, ready up, and do it again.
Yeah, you do point out the big obvious issues, unfortunately. I think you're right. I think the Spider-Man ability with backflip is slightly better. Shield block is a little dependent, and you make a good point that you could play multiple backflips if you have both of them in your hand and get attacked multiple times.
Yeah. I think when you break it down that way, I agree.
Yep. I will have to throw in the shield, the white flag, and give you backflip, Ryan.
Both really great cards. Very helpful for their decks.
Yes, really good cards. But unfortunately, backflip is the winner.
Ding, 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 ding.
That hurts, Ryan. All right. Now I said, hey, prepare a couple cards. And you brought some cards, Ryan. So why don't you tell us about your cards?
So I'm going to bring it back to the old days, back when there was the original core box. I guess there's only one core box. They haven't redubbed it. Have they redubbed it yet?
No.
Core 0.0 or 0.20, whatever?
Nope. Okay. They have not.
Cool. They will eventually. So I'm taking cards from the aspects, justice and protection. I wonder if people can guess. I'll give a quick chance for someone to guess in 3, 2, 1. You're wrong. Nah, you're probably right. I'm going with justice, concussive blow, and protections, tackle. Which one would you like to go for?
I'm going to go...
Or just read out, not necessarily choose yet.
I'll read out the one I think is going to win, Ryan.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I'm going to read out Tackle.
Ooh.
Tackle is a 3-cost event from Protection. Attack traded, hero action, attack, stun an enemy. If you paid for this card using a physical resource, deal 3 damage to that enemy. That's going to hurt in the morning.
Oh, that's a little tagline.
Yeah, that's the flavor text on that one, right?
All right. 3-cost event, Concussive Blow from Justice. It's an attack, hero action, confuse an enemy. If you paid for this card using a physical resource, deal 3 damage to that enemy. So, Scott, which one's the winner? I'm assuming the one you read because that's what you said you were going to do.
So I think tackle, I don't know, it's tough. I think a stun is slightly better than a confuse. But other than that, see, that's the thing with these two cards is it really boils down to which is better, a confuse or a stun, because the rest of the card is the exact same thing.
It's the exact same, yeah. I personally think the confuse is better. I am a Justice player, so maybe that's why. But I'm a huge fan of confuse because it allows you to flip down and hopefully do some alter ego shenanigans.
Okay, so get an extra turn down, bigger hand size, potentially recover. That's tough, man.
I mean,
I don't know. As a player who likes to stay in hero form as much as possible, I think maybe this one boils down to play style.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it depends on the hero that you're playing with. Because there are plenty of heroes that flipping down really isn't as beneficial as others. So confuse may not be that great, especially if you're playing obviously like a protection deck stun. You want to stay in hero form as long as possible doing stuff.
Right. Oh, this one's tough. We might have to take this one to an audience poll.
We might have to. I'm personally going to go with Concussive Blow, but I think it's definitely going to be they're so similar. It's definitely just a toss up.
Yeah, I think we might have to agree to disagree and make this one a draw, Ryan. And then we'll let the audience decide.
Interesting.
We'll put a poll out, give them a few weeks, and we'll see which ones they like. Tackle or Concussive Blow?
Now the question is, which artwork is better? We've got a reprint of Concussive Blow, and I think the reprint art is pretty cool.
Is that all of his fists punching?
I'm assuming.
Like super quick fist of Captain Britain?
That's what I'm guessing.
Okay. I don't think I had this other art when I went to pull it.
I can't remember what the other one looks like.
Oh, here it is.
Is it Jessica Drew? Is that what it
is? Something like that. Punching a dude right in the face. He's pretty sure that guy's dead.
Oh yeah,
he's dead.
I'm not sure who it is, but yeah, he's dead.
Jessica Jones? I think it's Jessica Jones. Is that Jessica Jones?
It might be, but that guy's definitely dead.
He's dead. That or he's eating through a straw for the rest of his life.
Yes. Do we have an alt art for Tackle?
I don't.
I can't remember.
Think or no? No, we do not.
I will say, going back to the backflip shield, I think the backflip art is better.
Let me get back there, man. Backflip. I will give it to you. That's a good image of Spider-Man.
I mean, what's better than cool guys walking away from explosions? Cool guys doing backflips away from explosions.
Yeah. Backflips are cool.
Yes. All right, man. All right, Scott. Do you have anything else on the docket? Is that all the verses we have for today?
That is our verses episode 1. But
what?
I saw an interesting question out about Jubilee.
Ooh, are you sneaking in a Rose Corner?
Rose Corner. I am, Ryan. So, your girl, Jubilee.
My girl? Okay.
My girl. My girl. Alright, so she's got a couple upgrades that make her do things after attack and thwarts.
See. Yep.
So, the question was... Well, let me read the card first. Jubilee's coat.
My
Hero
favorite.
response, thwart. After you play a thwart event, exhaust Jubilee's coat and choose a scheme. Remove one threat from that scheme for each different type used to pay for that event.
All right.
So the player asked, if Jubilee the hero is confused and you pay for a thwart event, the thwart event will clear the confuse, but then can you activate her coat response?
My initial answer would be yes, you can still activate her coat. And the reason why I think so is because of the phrasing. It says, after you play a thwart event. The confuse doesn't stop you from playing the thwart event, it just stops that card from doing whatever it's doing. You're still playing the event because you have to play it. Or I guess you could basic, but in this case, you have to play a thwart event to get rid of the confuse. That's my thought.
Okay. So at first glance, I agree with your analysis, Ryan. The wording does say after you play a thwart event, not after you thwart. But what does it mean to play a thwart event? To play a card, Ryan?
Philosophical.
Do you know?
Here we go.
Do you know what that means?
I guess.
I gotta find it. Hold on. I gotta get down to the P's here. Rules, reference. I need your help.
Do you got technical difficulties over there?
Yeah. Yes.
This is what the listeners love. They love this.
Yeah. They love the sweet, prepared player here. All right. So, if in rules reference 1.6, play or put into play. So, if we go off that, it says after you play a thwart event, playing a card involves paying the card's cost and placing the card in the play area. This causes the card to enter play, or in the case of an event card, to resolve its ability and be placed in the discard pile. Cards are played from a player's hand. So if we go with the parentheses there, in the case of an event, to resolve its ability is to be considered played.
That's well, there's a difference between play and played.
All right, hold on. When an event card is played, place it on the table, resolve its ability, and place the card in its owner's discard pile. So then we would have to look at what the confused status card says, Ryan.
All right, go ahead and pull that up there, friend.
All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
Confused says, the next time this character would thwart or scheme, discard this status card instead. So, based off of that, you would attempt to play the card, but the confuse would stop it. And I don't think the card actually enters play onto the playfield resolve in order to have played the card. I think you paid the cost for the card, but if you look at the verbiage, you have to actually play the thwart event. And I don't think the actual resolution of the card to be considered play to have fully resolved. That's my opinion.
All right, not too complicated, but let me throw another timing question to you revolving this. If you go to the card, it says after you play the thwart event. When it says play, does that mean the event has resolved, or you just have to put it down? And during the process of it resolving, could you activate the code?
Yeah, it's a tough one. This one, I'm going to go back. Playing a card involves paying the card's cost and placing the card in the player area. This causes the card to enter play, or in the case of an event card, to resolve its ability and be placed in the discard pile. I think the and in that saying to resolve its ability and place it in the discard.
Yeah.
I think with the Confuse, unfortunately, I think Confuse replaces that first half of that, and then you discard it.
Yeah.
I don't think if you go to like the letter of the law of play, I don't think just paying the cost fully resolves that the word play, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I think I might agree with you. The best course of action is to do a basic thwart, get rid of it, and then play your event.
So all that to say, Ryan, it was pretty mixed bag. A lot of people said, "Yeah, sure, do it." And there's the it's your game, do whatever you want. Wow. And then yeah. And then some people are like, no, kind of stating the things that we pointed out with the word play. Some people reference a Gamora ruling to trigger, because I think hers is similar.
Ability.
Yeah, because it says when you play a thwart or attack event.
Now, did the rules of playing was that shifted in 1.6 from previous?
So this is really old, but it says if the effects of an event are canceled, the card is still considered to have been played, and its cost remain paid. Only the effects are canceled.
That phrasing would say,
but that's some random. Oh well, that says from an RRG. But see, this is an old thread, so who knows?
Oh, are you deep diving right now?
We're going deep.
You're going full rules reference.
You never go full rule reference, right?
Let me while you do that, I can also type in Hall of Heroes, which is a great site to look at all your stuff. It's got some rulings in there. Maybe I can find
all right, do
something
it, Ryan.
about Gamora.
Use your magical powers.
Magical powers activate. As long as I can spell Gamora right. Interesting. Let's keep looking. Nope. Nothing on this round of searching. I'll have to keep searching.
Yeah, I see a thing specifically for Gamora, but I don't see anything about this.
It's very possible that things have changed. It wouldn't be the first time that they've made a ruling, and then after reviewing things, they decided, you know what, we need to adjust things back to this. So maybe at one time this would be, yes, you can play it, but with the most recent rule changes or updates, we won't say changes, we'll say updates, it might not work anymore.
It's true, and it could be one of those where before or after, it could be either or, right?
Things like that happen.
Looks like the majority wants to say yes. Hold on.
Yes, you can use it.
Yes, that's what a lot of people are saying. Let's see. Being played does not require the ability to be resolved. Playing the card causes the resolution, but I guess it's a separate step. It just says play. So, and then the reference was to Gamora's ability, saying you technically played the card, so therefore you should be able to. And there's some reputable people that respond a lot to stuff, and I would roughly agree with what they say. There was some person that posted a ChatGPT that says no. But I think that reading ChatGPT's thinking that you have to have thwart, it looks like ChatGPT wants you to have actually thwarted in order to trigger it, but I think ChatGPT is confused because it says this card states that after you play a thwart event, remove one threat from a scheme. It triggers when a thwart event successfully removes threat, but that's not technically stated on the card. I mean, if it's implied that playing a thwart event means that a successful thwart occurred, then yes, it would. But it just says it. Yeah, I guess it all goes back to what your definition of play is. Is play actually resolving the card, or if it removes a status, is it just having been paid and not played?
I guess the biggest I need to look at. I'll look at status cards again. I guess the biggest thing so far, what I've been reading, the biggest terminology is: does the status card replace the entire card, essentially, and what it is doing, or is it replacing the event? Because like you said, you're still playing the card because you have to pay for it.
Well, see, that's the difference in paying and playing.
Yes.
It's technically two different things. So I can pay for a card and not do something, and I can play the card and it does something in Resolve.
Okay, here we go. Status card. I'm sorry, I'm going to be reading a little bit because I have to read out loud because I'm a terrible reader.
I'll read good.
The following status cards in the game when a character cannot have more than one character with the study keyword. Status card abilities are time priority over all other conflicting. Oh, that doesn't help me. When a character is given a status card, take a status card. What did you... Oh, wait, here we go. Stunned. Stun is a status that cancels a character's next attack. If a ability stuns a character, give that character is stunned. A character with the steady keyword is stunned only if it has 2 stun cards. If a character has the ability stating that it cannot be stunned, if a stun identity or ally attempts to attack or use an attack ability, discard the stun card instead. Costs associated with the attack attempt, including exhausting the character, must still be paid.
Oh, Ryan. I think I found our trump card here.
A stunned character can attempt to attack or use an attack ability, even if it has no valid target for an attack.
All right, Ryan, you ready? You can just go ahead and stop whatever you're doing.
Oh, no.
The listeners just stop listening.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
You ready?
You cut all this. So basically, folks, we've spent like the last hour looking at this.
Hour is exaggeration.
Okay, all maybe like 55-minute exaggeration.
59 minutes. Okay, 59.
59 minutes. But basically, I'm right. No.
Oh, wait. Are you now? Okay. All right. So if we
found the smoking gun.
I think so. So under event, it says event is a player card type that is generally played for an instantaneous effect. Each time a player plays an event card, the player places it face up on the table in front of them. The event is not in play, pays its costs, resolves its effects unless those effects are canceled, and then places the card in its owner's discard pile after those effects resolve or are canceled. And then there's a bullet point. If the effects of the card are canceled, the card is still considered to have been played, and its costs remain paid, only the effects are canceled. So based off of this, I would rule that it is played, and the verbiage used on Jubilee's coat would make me say, yes, you could activate the coat.
Ding, ding, ding. I think that is a smoking gun. The rules themselves say, yes, you can use the coat.
So just go look at 17 different places to find your answer.
That is the quick reference. 1.6 events on page 18. Nice job. Little detective work there.
I will have to give credit to some people on some of the comments. So you know who you are.
You know who you are.
I just followed the trail. We got there.
You know who you are. We're going to take credit, but you know
That's
who
right.
you are.
We'll take the credit, but you know who you are.
Right on.
Oh, well, that's a good one.
Yeah. If you ever have questions, just ask the Facebook group. You're going to get all sorts of different answers, but eventually the right one will come forth.
That's right. All right, Ryan. You don't have a question prepared, which I don't expect you to. I kind of sprung this one on you.
I don't. I want to say I had one not too long ago, and I totally forgot it if I did. So.
All right. Well, I would have the listeners send us some questions you've got, but you'll probably get it a lot faster if you just post it on the Facebook group.
That's very true.
And if you want to have your self-esteem, shot down a little. Now, it's a great resource. Everyone's usually pretty nice, except for when it gets a knockdown drag out.
It's basically if you ask a question, you're gonna get the wrong answer, the right answer, and someone saying none of the answers matter. Just play however you want.
No, but if you want the win to count, play it correctly.
That's right. I mean, FFG does keep track of it, so
I think they're listening, Ryan.
they're listening right now.
All right. Well, if you've got a rules question or you got an idea for a versus episode on 2 cards that we can talk about and battle, let us know. Reach out to us at marvelchampionspod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, or throw a comment down on the YouTube video from this podcast episode, or a comment out on the Facebook group we got. So, tons of places. Reach out. We love to interact. And as always, if you want to go from a chump to a champ, listen to the Marvel Champions podcast. Thanks.
Take care, everyone.